Can you please introduce yourself and tell us how long you lived in Putnam?
My name is Diane Donay's Kipper, and I've lived in Putnam for most of my life. I was born here, and I lived in Massachusetts for several years, and I came back to Putnam, and I've been here since then.
And how old were you in 1950, on August of 55?
I was 6, going to be 7 in October.
Can you share your memories with us, please?
Yes, the 1938 flood had not come to where I lived on the corner of Bridge and Main Street, directly across from the old library. The library was finished and had not had any books moved in. So it was thought that the flood would not hit us. And so Mr. Waters, Rodney Waters' father, was at our house working on the furnace. My aunt and 2 cousins that lived in Manhasset Village were staying with us. My folks went off to work that day, and my cousins and I must have been playing because we didn't realize, or I didn't realize there was anything happening outside until we were crossing the bridge. And I was on Mr. Waters' shoulders, and my 2 cousins and my aunt were tied by ropes crossing the bridge. I thought it was quite an adventure, but the water was rushing over the bridge, and we were all tied together. I next recall sleeping in a bed with my 2 cousins and my aunt at Marianopolis. I don't recall how long we were there, but I know that I did not see my folks for a couple of weeks. And the next time I saw them, we were staying with relatives on the corner of Barber and Walnut Street. My mother and my uncle were trying to make their way back to us on Main Street, but the water stopped them, and they went to the telephone building across from the Putnam Post Office, and the helicopter came and took them by helicopter away from the flood waters. Jeanne tells me about where she saw the helicopters landing, which I did not know. So that is pretty much my experience. I didn't know it was coming, but it really made an impact on me. I can still see those waters flowing over the bridge.
Is there a memory from that time, good or bad, that sticks with you still today?
Well, the rushing water and my cousins tied by ropes and my aunt tied by ropes. And I don't know Mr. Waters' first name, but I know it was Rodney's father. In fact, I talked to Rodney about it some years later, and he talked to his father. I told him because I thought his father was quite a hero.
How did the flood change Putnam in your eyes?
Well, it made a brand new Putnam because it wiped out most of the homes. The redevelopment came along, and my folks had redone the home. And when we left Barber Street and Walnut, we lived on the 2nd floor of our house while it was being regentified in the downstairs. But most of the people left, and they did not return to their home. There were just a few of us, but then the shopping center came and homes were purchased, and you see what started with changing Putnam.
What do you think people today don't realize about what you went through?
You just can't imagine. I still see all the families, and I had several best friends on that street. that I never saw again. One of them was a Bobby DeRocha, and he moved to Thompson, and he was my best pal, and we used to get into such mischief. And he just passed away maybe 3 years ago, and we had such fun, and I used to get very upset with him because he had an older brother, which was called Butch, and Butch would take him off and play football instead of playing with me. So there was competition, and there was another young lady, Barbara Kasarick, and I never saw her again. But we used to comb all of Main Street, and there weren't many other people, many other children on that street. And I do remember a lady, Bernice Delaney, had an insurance company, and every Christmas she used to give out Christmas toys for children. And so she was no longer there. And I don't recall, I think before the library was put in, there were oil tanks. And I don't know what happened to those oil tanks. Well, Bobby and I used to go underneath the oil tanks, and we used to play there. And that was great fun.
I bet. If you could pass along one lesson from that time, what would it be?
I would say to respect people who go through tragedies and not take it lightly, because the people who go through tragedies suffer greatly. And I know it's not only the children, but it's the adults that have to pick up and start over. And it's a devastating thing, and we see it all over the world, and we can't take it lightly.
Is there a memory from that time, good or bad, that still sticks with you today?
Well, I can still see those rushing waters coming over the bridge, and I drive on that bridge every day, or almost every day, and I can imagine the water flowing over, and I'm on Mr. Waters' shoulders, and my cousins and my aunt are tied together, and it was quite an adventure for me, but it was really
Scary.
It was a real adventure.
Anything else you'd like to share that you think people should know?
I think that's just about it, my experience with the flood.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. We appreciate that.